Good morning and welcome back to the Daily Devotional for Monday, February 16th, 2026. This week we're going to be looking at Hebrews chapter 2, verses 10 through 13. Hebrews chapter 2, verse number 10 says, "For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through suffering." As we look at this verse this morning, it begins with a phrase that says, "For it became him." In other words, this was fitting. It fit him. It was right. It was appropriate in God's wisdom. God is described here as the one for whom are all things and by whom are all things. He is the creator and the sustainer of everything. Nothing exists outside of his authority, and yet this mighty God chose a path that involves suffering. If Scripture had stopped at "in the beginning God," it would have been sufficient for all time. He is. I'm glad he is a God who is spoken of in present tense. Why? Because he was bringing many sons to glory. Salvation was not an afterthought. It was God's purpose. God's desire was not just to forgive sinners, but to bring them home, to bring them into glory as sons and daughters. Jesus is called the captain of our salvation. That word carries with it the idea of a leader, a pioneer, the one who goes first. Jesus didn't shout about salvation from a distance. He walked the road to salvation and finished it for us. The verse says he was made perfect through suffering. This doesn't mean that Jesus was sinful or incomplete. It means his obedience was fully proven through suffering. He experienced the full weight of human pain, of temptation, of rejection, and death without sin. This tells us something very important. Suffering is not a sign that God has failed. Sometimes suffering is the very path that God uses to bring about his greatest work. If you're suffering today, don't assume that God has abandoned you. Look to Jesus. If you've never trusted him, turn to him now. He is the captain who leads sinners safely home. Join me tomorrow as we see how close Jesus comes to us in our salvation.